Hello my friends, you're listening to Ebird Online. And guys, I've got a corker for you today. I've literally just finished watching the tell-all. And I gotta say, it was absolutely hilarious. So this is the first part of the tell-all for 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Season 6. And I think I'm going to split this into 2 parts because, well, there was quite a lot to get into. Just before we get into it, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's subscribed to my channel this season. And a massive thank you for all your comments. If you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing, but I really do appreciate all of your support. As usual, if you enjoy the video, please press the like button. And also if you know anybody who might enjoy this video, please consider sharing. Thanks guys. Right, so without further ado, I give you the first part of the tell-all, part 1. And so first up, as per usual, we see all the stars assemble in the green room. And the first person in is Meisha. And she tells us she's very worried about what might transpire. Next up comes Statler. She gives the obligatory toilet joke, and then she walks into Meisha and says, "Wow, you look like a movie star." And next up comes Riley. He says, "I'm not here to judge because my shit stinks." But guys, when he walked in, it was so weird. Both Meisha and Statler stood up, but he sort of blanked Statler and went, "Meisha, oh my god!" And he looked as if he'd just seen the second coming. But I've got to say, Meisha does look absolutely amazing, but yeah, guys, it was a little bit rude. But then I suppose it is Riley after all. Where would we be if Riley were not bloody rude? And so next came the first very amusing scene from the tell-all. And Christian comes swaggering through the door. He looked like a cross between Henry Fonzarelli, Kids Ask Granny or Grandpa, and Ed Sheeran. He clearly considers himself to be hot stuff, but this was duly confirmed when he spoke.
It's really good to be back in the USA. I think the other couples, they probably think that I'm some booze hound, charmer, playboy, and that's just not the truth. I'm looking forward to showing people, what I'm like in person.
What? A booze hound? Guys, Christian really is a cod. Booze hound. If you mean functioning alcoholic, then yes we do. Womanizer, you wish. That's really not the truth. We know it's not the truth. God gave us the gift of sight, and with that sight, we chose to look at your boat race, and we know good and well you are not now and never will be a womanizer, Christian. Oh, good Lord, he genuinely thinks everyone's as stupid as Cleo. We're not. And so Christian walks in and said, "Howdy guys," and he greets the group. And when they all sit down, Riley's got something to say. What is it, Riley? And guys, I couldn't get my breath. Riley actually had the gall to say to Meisha, "I want to talk to Nicola." And she said, "Why?" And guys, then he said, "When Nicola's trying to dismiss your feelings, he always uses the Bible to do it." What? This comes from the guy who says all Americans set private detectives on their girlfriends. This comes from the man who scuttles like a cockroach in a white suit to the toilet when he's sharpening up for his friend Tiffany, who he lies and calls his sister, to verbally threaten, harangue and harass Violet. This is this man. Riley, you don't know the meaning of the word respect. Guys, honestly, to me this is like Jasmine deciding to check Shiela on her emotional outburst. That's what it's like. It's nothing short of a piss take. And next up, in comes David. And as he exited the SUV, TLC did their now ubiquitous silent trick. TLC, we get it. David can't hear. We know what it is to not be able to hear. We get it. Anyway, David walks in. And guys, they've got like 1,000,000,001 sign language interpreters. And I thought, why have they got so many? But then I clocked, for every different language that somebody speaks, they've got a sign language interpreter for it. Oh right, I'm just thinking about this. There's only Violet, isn't there? I guess Violet and maybe Shiela. Well, yeah, I feel like everybody else speaks English. Anyway, they've got a lot of interpreters. He walks in and everybody greets him. And once more they all sit down to talk. And they all seem to make him feel very welcome. And then next up, we have the rude girl everybody loves to hate, Bad Yalamanda. God, she might be interesting if she wasn't so basic. Anyway guys, I noticed something this tell-all. Sometimes I just don't know where my head's at. I've always wondered, why do TLC make a green room out of curtains? Why do they never have a proper room? And for some strange reason I just decided that it was lack of money stroke, class, stroke, I don't know, treating these guys like they weren't really stars, just sticking them in a room and putting a curtain around them. But then finally, just this year, just, I don't know, 6 seasons in or whatever I am, I finally clocked that it was so people could hear them slagging them off from outside the curtain. Yes, guys, spare me the dough. Has the Ebird just cottoned onto that? Yes, the Ebird has just cottoned onto it, and now she has. Things make an awful lot more sense. And so talk turned to Amanda, and Christian and everybody was saying how rude she was. So rude. And then Meisha was mid-sentence, and she was saying, the comment that grossed me out, literally, was the bloody sword. Like, I can't. And guys, Amanda comes marching in, Teen Mum style.
Was the bloody sword. I literally...
Amanda! Oh, hi!
You just beeline straight.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about you and Razvan.
Don't worry about it. We thought that you was just exploring your emotions and your feelings.
And guys, you could have cut the atmosphere with a knife. Amanda was absolutely fuming. She'd obviously heard every word they said about her. And Riley was like, oh, yeah, nothing to worry about. We were just saying, Riley, shut the fuck up. And I'm not entirely sure why everybody's so scared of Amanda. But let me tell you now, they all backtracked on what they'd said. Meanwhile, Amanda's telling production she wishes she'd been herself when she was being filmed. And she said, usually, I just don't give a fuck. What? Oh my lord. Guys, it was bad enough for Razvan as it was. Imagine if she'd have just not given a fuck about his feelings. He would have been suicidal. If that was her pretending to give an F, I dread to see what the real Amanda's actually like. And then we had a repeat of the little nugget of information that Christian gave us during the season. And that was just really his confirmation that women are actually people.
To be honest, I don't feel uncomfortable talking to women because I talk to women like they're people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of men, you know, like just talk to women like they're people, you know?
Christian, we know we're people, we know that. And most of the people on planet Earth know that as well. Guys, what's the point he's trying to make? Like, Loki, he's made me think now that he sees women as other than people or different to normal people who I guess he thinks normal people are men. And women are variants of that normality. That's all I can come up with. Oh, the whole thing really does make me laugh. Do you know what? Ryan Gosling, yeah, you. Fuck out of here. We've got a new male feminist in town, and his name's Christian. If Christian's championing my woman's rights, I know that equality will soon be mine. Guys, I couldn't get my breath. Anyway, on with the story. We've got a lot to get through. Anyway, the next topic was, who has the most toxic relationship? Riley very quickly said he was number 2. Yes, Riley, you are a number 2. And everybody agreed that it was Jasmine and Gino, who were this season's winners for the most toxic crown. And then Statler said, I'm so glad that we're not going to be in the same room as her, and I knew immediately that Jasmine was going to be rocking up. I've got to tell you guys, I was quite pleased because Jasmine is always a fiery time. We know we're always going to get 2 things, tantrums and tears. Oodles and oodles of them. So next we see a rather cheap looking bejeweled pump strutting down the corridor, and it's quite clearly her. Anyway, they're all busy slugging her off, and to throw everyone off the scent, in walked Gino. And guys, he was all dressed up. Now it has to be said that the clothes were wearing him rather than he was wearing the clothes, but I guess he did look better than usual. But no sooner had he sat down than this happened.
Hi, everyone! I made it to America, bitches.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You were not expecting me to be here, but here I am.
This is wild.
And guys, literally nobody was pleased to see her, and that includes Gino. And she lets everybody know that she heard them all slugging her off. And guys, really, they should all know, because they too have stood behind the curtain, listening to people slag them off, before getting to the green room. So it shouldn't really come as any surprise. And then Meisha said to her, I'm very worried for Gino. And Jasmine called her a bully. And guys, this whole thing, I don't know, their relationship is so strange. Earlier on this evening, Statler said, I used to think that Gino was the worst person in the world, but but now I want to protect Gino at all costs. Statler, what's wrong with you? Just because you now realise just how toxic and awful Jasmine is, doesn't suddenly mean that Gino's an angel. Lest we forget, this is the person that sent topless pictures of his girlfriend to his ex-girlfriend. This is the person that pays sugar babies for their time and, well, other things. This is the person that glibly says, well, maybe you want to be a fitness instructor, when he's ruined someone's actual career as a teacher. This is that person, Statler. Stop with the binary thinking. He doesn't become one so seemingly intelligent. They're both terrible. I think she's terrible and abusive, but they're both terrible. And as they all argue back and forth, they're told by production to take their seats on the stage. And finally, Shaun introduces this year's Before the 90 Days Season 6 Season Tell All. And guys, then she tells us there's a live studio audience. And it shows about, 6 people whooping and clapping. And it becomes very clear as the tell-all progresses that the same 6 people are always pictured. I don't think there's any more than about 15 people in this so-called live audience. And as for the noise they're creating, the whooping and the clapping, well, I think they've stolen that VT from Oprah Winfrey in the 1980s. Those 6 people are not making that noise, come on guys. And so Shaun begins to introduce all of the couples, and first up there's Gino and Jasmine. Obviously they're both there in person, so clearly they're still together. And next up was David and Shiela, and they too are still together. David's grown a beard, and Shiela says she doesn't like it at all. And next up was Amanda and Razvan. Razvan was looking like a boy band member from the 1990s, and Amanda was looking like the ubiquitous plain girl from the early years of Neighbours the soap. You know, the girl that, when she takes her glasses off, turns out to be beautiful, but she's yet to learn how to dress, do her hair, or do her makeup. Anyway, it's not quite sure if they're still together or not. I personally think they're not, but Shaun says we'll see later. And then they speak with Christian and Cleo. Shaun asks if they're still together, and Cleo says nothing. She's waiting for Christian to answer. And then finally Christian confirms, yeah, we are. No, you're not, Christian. You're just hanging on until the end of the tell-all, and then you're going to give Cleo her marching orders. Everybody says they're surprised. And Meisha pipes up and says that Christian's out of order for chatting up women in bars. And she said if Nico were to do this, I'd be very unhappy. Well, Meisha, the difference is this. Christian treats women as if they were human beings. That's why it's okay. They can think, feel, breathe, and even do. They're unbelievable. They're kind of like pseudo men. But, well, not quite as good. And then we go on to Meisha and Nicola. They've been engaged now for a year, but they've yet to see each other. But the big news is Nicola's coming over the following week. So there's just a week left of being engaged for Meisha to enjoy. For I predict it will be over the moment he sets foot on US soil. And then we speak to Tyray. Why? I'll never know, because nothing's happened with his story literally since the first week. Once we found out it was a catfish, there was really nothing more to know. Nothing more was elucidated from that story from week 1. Prove me wrong. And then we go over to Statler and Dempsey. And the girls confirm that they're indeed still together. And Dempsey says Statler's the most important person in the world to her, and she wants to do life with her. And they're still making plans to live together in the UK. And next up, Riley and Violet both confirm that they're not still together. And in fact, Riley gave a very strict and hard no. But then Gino asks, is Violet still pregnant? And Shaun's a bit of a misery guts when she says, we're going to talk about that, but not until later. Guys, this introduction's been quite full, so I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to give you part 2 later this evening or maybe tomorrow. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll drop another video just as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.